Hello guys, TavHD here and welcome back to another video, and today we'll be discussing whether my Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus can replace my Panasonic Lumix FZ82 as my secondary camera. So since I got this phone, I was just thinking, do I still need to have this, because this can record in 4K 60 frames per second, this only 4K 30. And looking at the quality of the video on this phone, it seems to be better than this. So today we're just going to discuss some of the features and also do a video comparison. And to start with, we'll discuss the FZ82 because I've had this for the longest. So I bought this camera in, I believe, January of 2019. There is an unboxing on the channel of that. It's pretty rubbish, so don't bother watching that. But yeah, I bought this because it was a really cheap way to start recording in 4K. I paid £250 for it at Curry's here in the UK, and I got an extended warranty that's only just run out, and right now it's on sale for £300, so the price has gone up since I bought it, which is a bit strange. Usually the price would go down as a product got older, but I believe this model has been out for about 3 years now, so the price should really be decreasing. And I do think that this was worth the £250 I paid for it, but compared to my phone, maybe I don't need it anymore. So let's talk about some of the specs of this thing. So the highest video quality it can record in is 4K 30 frames per second, as I've already mentioned, and that is 100 megabits per second. It also has a really good zoom on it, and I believe that is the main selling point of this camera. If we just look at that, that is a 60 times zoom, so look how much that lens sticks out. And I have done a video test on this camera as well, that's on the channel, so yeah, you can see the quality of that zoom in that video. But that's the main feature. This has a 60 times zoom on it, which is pretty impressive, but I don't really need that. I don't do anything where I need to zoom in that much, so for me it's kind of just an unnecessary feature. Now the aperture on this camera is f2.8 to 5.9, which is alright. My G7 that I'm recording with now has about the same, I believe, so yeah, that's alright. And this thing weighs 616 grams, which is heavier than my G7 that I'm filming with, probably because this has got such a big lens in it, and it has to have all the mechanisms to make it come out, because it is fixed lensed. So yeah, this is very heavy, and it is fairly big. It's a lot bigger than my G7, so this isn't really very portable. I've got a big camera bag that I put this thing in, which is fine, it's just a little bit bulky. And this camera of course has all the controls on it, but it can also be controlled with the Panasonic image app, as I believe I demonstrated in the iPad 2 video, so that's very useful, so I can be a bit further away from the camera and still be able to control it, so that is a good feature. And the display on this thing is 3 inches, which is fairly small, but I guess that's why you've got the image app, so then you can view it on a larger display. And there is also a HDMI output on the side in here, so then you can plug it into a larger screen to view the files off it. And the files are written to an SD card, which is in the bottom here. My specific SD card is by SanDisk. It's an Extreme Plus. It's 32 gigabytes, and yeah, it's a pretty nice card. So that's really the main features of the FZ82. Now let's take a look at the S20. Okay, so here's the Galaxy S20 Plus, as you can see. So for this we're just going to be talking about the standard camera, and that's the second one down here. You can use the other lenses for video as well, but the other ones can only record in up to 30 frames per second, while this second one can do 4K 60. So this phone can record in 8K, 4K 60 and 4K 30, as well as lower resolutions such as 720 and 1080, but I'm not really interested in those lower ones. So for this test we will be using 4K 30 just so it's on par with the FZ82, but usually I would probably film in 60 frames per second on this, but to make it fair I will use 30. And the aperture on this main lens is f1.8, that's quite nice, so we should be able to get some nice blur on this maybe. And another really nice thing about this is the weight. This is 186 grams, so it's quite a lot lighter than the FZ82, and the display on this is 6.7 inches, meaning we can view exactly what's going on in the camera rather nicely. Look how big that preview is, and that is something that is really nice. Okay, so now we've discussed some of the features of both of these, I'm now going to do a video comparison. So what I'm going to do is use my GorillaPod, and we're going to put the camera on the main bit and then use the secondary arm and put the phone on that. So yeah, let's do the video test now. Okay, so it's been a little over a week since I filmed the first part of this video, but I am now ready to record the camera test. So as you can see, on the main part of the GorillaPod I've got the FZ82, then on the second arm I've got the S20 with a little phone mount connected as well. So the first thing we're going to do is just turn on both of these and film like this and see what it can see. So let's do that now. Okay, so here is what the camera can currently see, and this is quite a difficult situation because of all the light coming at it, but they're both on auto settings, so let's see how this can do. Let's just check the auto focusing on this. That's the S20. Struggling there. What about the FZ82? Yeah, struggling as well. So both of these don't seem to be handling this situation very well. But that's kind of to be expected. I didn't think that they'd be able to do this very well actually. So yeah, that is fine. Okay, so next we're just going to take a little move around my office here. There's the G7 over there. This is just going to test the stability of both of these cameras, so let's walk forward. Take a look, there's my iPhone 8 Plus down there. Go back, let's take a look at the lights again. There's one light, there's another, and there is the last one. So yeah, both of these actually look fairly decent. I can tell that the S20 is more cropped in than the FZ82. But that isn't much of a big deal because I can just move the S20 a little bit further back, which shouldn't be a problem now that I'm in this bigger office. As you can see, this is a bigger room. I'm still waiting on my extra desk to come from IKEA, but yeah, that should be here in a couple of days. So yeah, let's take a look at what this quality is like. Okay, so I've just had the fun job of cutting together all of those clips here. Hopefully that wasn't too bad, but now I've looked at the footage from both the FZ82 here as well as the S20 Plus. I've got a few things to say about both. So let's start off with the S20 Plus. So I've just reviewed the footage, of course, and I must say it doesn't look as good on the big screen as it does directly on the phone. I think that the footage produced is actually quite soft and fuzzy in a way. It did record in 4K, but it's not sharp. It's fairly fuzzy and noisy. So yeah, it is 4K, but it's not really up to the standard of, let's say, the G7, for example. And in fact, I think that the quality of the FZ82 is actually better. Now the video quality from this, I would say, is a lot crisper than on the Galaxy S20. This does produce quite a noisy image when in environments like this where there isn't a lot of light coming in. So this was fairly noisy, but it was a much sharper quality image. But in terms of stabilization, I say that the S20 came out better in that situation, but for most of the things that I film, I do it on a tripod anyway, so for that I think I will carry on using the FZ82 for situations like that. But maybe on the go, for example, I can use the S20 because it is 4K, the quality isn't terrible, it's just not up to par with the other devices that I've got. So because of how portable this thing is, and it is 4K, and it is a more stable shot, I think that this could be used quite nicely on the go for some sort of vlogging maybe, or something like that. So yeah, this is more stable, but this is overall a better image. So I think the conclusion of this video, the answer is no. The Galaxy S20, for what I need to film, cannot replace the FZ82. So I'll be keeping this FZ82 for a little bit longer and hopefully get some more good use out of it. But both of these are very good devices. I'll probably use the S20 for a bit of filming as well if I need to, but I'm going to keep the FZ82. So thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it was interesting in some way. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.